I'm happy to be sitting here with Carrie Gallant of Gallant Solutions. She is a master negotiator, trainer, mediator, former lawyer, and we have worked together for several years doing workshops and trainings in an attempt to teach women how to step up and get what they want and how to negotiate both in a work setting and in a personal setting. I'm very happy to have her here today. Welcome, Carrie.
Well, thank you, Tracy. It's delightful to be here.
What do you think holds women back from negotiating for what they want?
Well, it's a great question, and I was actually spending all day yesterday with two of my clients in a private VIP day, and we were talking just about this thing. And what was holding them back is what holds back a lot of women from negotiating. Women make fabulous negotiators, and research has shown that when women are negotiating for someone else, for their company, for their business, for their company, for example, they do just as well as men, and sometimes even better. But when it comes to negotiating for ourselves, that's where it often trips women up. And so there's a bunch of reasons why there's a difference between those two areas. And there's actual research that backs this up.
So what is the difference? And for in a work situation, for instance, why do women somehow feel liberated to go after the best deal or to negotiate properly?
Well, that's actually one of the reasons. It's when a woman. So the research shows that there's no difference for men if they're negotiating for themselves or they're negotiating on behalf of a company in terms of their performance and their results. But for women, it's often a different outcome. So they can get same or better results if they're negotiating for a company, but that's the difference, is when they negotiate for themselves, that's where their results tend to decline.
And
so
why?
It's that place. Yeah, well, I think that has a lot to do with a lot of things, and we could spend a lot of time talking about and unpacking those, but some of the reasons that come forward from a lot of women has to do with there's a lot of things. There's societal expectations about what a woman's role is, what are expected or acceptable behaviors. A lot of women are afraid to step up or to put their neck out, if you like. Right. And actually, when it comes down to it too, even if that's not the issue, for many is they really have a hard time clarifying what it is they want for themselves.
Okay. Yeah. Once a woman has clarified what she wants, the thing that's been interesting to me is, especially when I try to encourage women to go in and negotiate better for their salaries, they seem to have this idea that this is a high-risk activity. I mean, it just makes them sick. Why?
Well, there's a bunch of reasons for that, and one is one of the researched reasons is because of the lack of predictability, and that unpredictability and the lack of control that one has in a negotiation really can make it stressful, and that's true for men and for women. But the variables for women tend to be a lot more heavily laden with what might happen, and so the fear of being rejected, the fear of getting a no and not understanding what to do with that if somebody says, well, actually,
rejection
exactly,
of some kind.
And so also then mixed in with that is being able to attach value to what a woman brings to the table. Because that's about now saying, I'm worth it. And so many of us have a challenge with feeling worth it, or despite the L'Oreal commercials to the contrary, it is a big issue for many women. We have so many messages out there from media, from centuries, millennia, about what a woman's worth, whether it's economically or what a woman's worth in a relationship, for example. So we've got all these messages that tend to, for many women, it's a hurdle to overcome.
Right.
Yeah.
So what would you suggest then? What are some things that they can do to begin a process of overcoming that?
Well, it's interesting, and this is something I was working with my clients yesterday, is really starting from that place of take a deep breath and do your homework. It sounds like going back to school. But women actually do really great when they have the tools. When they educate themselves, they're actually really open to learning. And you know this from the financial world, that research has shown that women do better with more knowledge in the financial world, and men tend to get a little testy around that. But let's use it to our advantage. Do the homework, take the time, spend some time, take a break, be by yourself and really distill what it is you want, number one.
Okay.
And then number two, what is it that you bring to the table? What's the value of your skill set, your experience, whatever it is that you're negotiating about? What is it that you bring that adds
Right.
value to the other person?
And I can see that being
That's the
problematic
starting.
because
Absolutely.
we've all been told not to get too big for our britches, and
That
you
is
know
a tricky
that a good
place.
girl is
Yeah.
humble and sweet, and we play a role of support, and we never step out in front
Right.
and get too much attention to ourselves.
And so one of the best ways to get over that part in that part of the exercise is to have a partner, a buddy, a coach, someone who can reflect back to you, yes, this is indeed what you do bring to the table. And oh, by the way, you forgot about X, Y, Z, A, B, C as well. These are also great things that you bring.
Yes.
To have a mirror to reflect back to you that indeed your worth is much greater than you actually realize. So we need that
I
kind of
can see
support
that.
network to help us figure that out often.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.